Hello! So, the day is here. Ed Sheeran has released his 8th studio album entitled Play. I've listened to it. I'm going to share my thoughts over the course of the next 8 minutes, and as you will see, this is one take, no edits. These are my off-the-cuff thoughts. I've got a few notes here to remind me of what I thought about the album's 13 tracks, and what I'll do is I'll just go through, first of all 13 tracks very briefly, share my thoughts, and then have some more general views at the end. Let's get into it. But also let me know what you think in the comments. Yes, if you love this album, tell me why. If you hate it, tell me why as well. Thank you very much. Track 1, called Opening. Very original idea. First track on the album, call it Opening. It starts off acoustic, vocals, yeah, and I thought for the first minute or so, I was kind of surprised. I thought, this is actually okay. Because for those of you who follow my channel, you might have realised I'm not usually a fan of Ed Sheeran. There, I've laid my cards on the table. So I was like, okay, he's just singing, just acoustic guitar, a few even nice vocal phrases. But then, of course, he has to ruin it, because he starts rapping. Doesn't he? After about a minute and 20 seconds, he starts rapping. Oh my gosh. And when he starts rapping, it's just one of the most cringe-worthy things you can imagine, isn't it? He's a terrible lyricist and an even worse rapper. There can be no disagreement about that. So he ruins the song. But interestingly, in the rap, I think he kind of self-diagnoses some of the problems that I have with his music and that many people have with his music. We'll come back to that. I'm going to go into those lyrics later on. Track 2, Sapphire, collaboration with Arijit Singh, and this is one of the tracks on the album, one of the several tracks that can be called cross-cultural. Yeah, in the promotion of this album, it's been described as a cross-cultural album because of some of the various musical influences. Here we have a blend of pop and Punjabi musical influences. So, I'm all for this. I think it's great if you can be inspired by different cultures. Wonderful, fantastic. Bring different flavors in, right? But it's all been watered down, right? It's all been watered down and overproduced. So yes, we can hear some Punjabi influence, absolutely. But, everything Ed touches, he ruins it. He injects it with this sort of GCSE level songwriting. He's like an anti-King Midas. Everything he touches, it doesn't turn to gold, it turns to like plywood, MDF. Yeah, I mean, actually, Ed's music is kind of like MDF, right? MDF is it's not even wood, right? What is it? Resin and sawdust and stuff. It's pretending to be wood, but it's not really wood. And Ed Sheeran's music is like pretending to be music, but it's actually barely even music. Anyway, so I'm afraid, yeah, Sapphire, no, it didn't work for me. Track 3, Azizam, which means my beloved in Persian. Another one of these cross-cultural tracks, a collaboration with the producer Ilya Salmanzadeh, who I think worked on several tracks on this album. I'm going to quote a line from Alexis Petridis from The Guardian, who reviewed this track a while back. He said, Azizam does its job with the kind of ruthless efficiency you might expect from Sheeran in his unabashed pop mode. Yes, ruthless efficiency, I would say so. It's not the world's worst pop song, but it's just a bit ruthless in its attempts to get you moving or whatever. And it's not even very Persian. As Alexis points out in his review, there's a few little influences, but really it's quite an Anglo-Saxon sounding song at heart, actually. So yeah, all these cross-cultural influences, if they could be a bit more real and less overproduced and a bit more authentic, I could buy into it more. Track 4, Old Phone. I'm just going to read out some notes, I think, here to whip through these. Old Phone, it's lame. Predictable chord progressions that he's used so many times before, and apparently 20 people were involved in the creation of this song. It's amazing that so many people, were involved in the creation of something so shit, frankly. He loves reliving his his past times back before he was famous. He's done this again and again with his songs. He's obsessed by it. He's trying to stay relevant by hanging on to these bygone days. It's bizarre. Track 5, Symmetry, left me totally cold. More cross-cultural percussion, and it's so overproduced you can barely even tell like which culture is he referencing. It's, your average listener certainly could not tell you, and I can't tell you. It's hard to tell when it's just some vague non-Western percussion in the background, right? Overproduced. Track 6, Camera, romantic slush of the most pathetic kind. Track 7, in other words, more romantic slush that anyone with any sort of aesthetic sensibility, would find as appetizing as a litter box. Track 8, a little more. Sounds a little Amy Winehouse. It has the same opening chords as Valerie, her cover of Valerie by the Zootons, chord 1 and chord 2, back and forth for the whole song, really. Forgettable. Track 9, Slowly. Crappy lyrics again. Here's some lyrics. The scent of you on the pillowcase, the photo wall that's never changed, sat on a bed in our little place, I'm still counting down the days. Absolute doggerel. Track 10, Don't Look Down, did nothing for me, a pervading feeling of emptiness. What were my notes there? Track 11, The Vow, a compound time love song. It was as if it was written specifically to be a first dance song at weddings. Here's a lyric. My vow to you is to love you and never let you go. I mean, come on. I do feel a bit cynical about all this. It's just schmaltz of the lowest kind. Track 12, For Always, finger down the throat, sapfest. Grow up. Track 13, Heaven. Now this features my favourite moment on the album. After the first word of the song, we get silence for 2 seconds. Bliss! Oh, I got this far and I'd been shuddering through this album. I really had. 2 seconds of silence. Absolute bliss. My favourite part of the album. Yes, back to track 1 quickly. I'm running out of time, but these lyrics in the awful rap, I think he's put his finger on what's wrong with his music. So he's obsessed with staying relevant, right? He says, I am not losing steam. Ed, you never had steam in the first place. He says, I've never been cool, but never been a has-been. Yeah, he knows he's not cool, and he's just always trying too hard. Gotta come natural, I don't want to force it. He just lets his music flow naturally, and it's just this flow of MDF, isn't it? It's not real music. Every year I gotta re-swim these waters. Doesn't he do just that? He endlessly going round and round this predictable, crappy music cycle. God, what can I say? It's just terrible, isn't it? It's really awful. I give this album a score of 18 out of 100. My joint lowest score ever with, guess who? An Ed Sheeran song, American Town. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. A terrible album. Goodbye.